We'll speak about customer or name screening. What is customer or name screening? Why it is necessary for bank and financial institution? What are different attributes? Who all need to be screened? And what is an overall process? Please subscribe to my channel or give me a thumbs up. This will motivate me to create more videos on AML and KYC concepts. Customer screening is a vital and critical weapon in the fight against financial crime. So let's understand what is customer or name screening. Customer screening is the process of reviewing your new or existing customer risk profile against the data which is available on the external data sources such as sanction list, watch list, PEP list, and adverse media. The principal objective of screening is to identify and manage the risk of doing business with bad actors such as sanction individual or entity or drug trafficker, and to identify customer who poses high risk from perspective of money laundering or terrorist financing such as PEPs, and subsequently to take appropriate action to manage risk. It can be done through performing the enhanced due diligence on high risk customer, or discontinuing the relationship with customer, or reporting the sanctioned entity individual to a regulator. Now let's understand a different attribute of customer screening. Given the value of customer screening, it's no surprise that financial institutions continue to invest heavily in their capability. However, every organization approaches it differently. So, in terms of sanction screening, some banks screen against basic government sanction list, while other screen against much wider area of watch list. And these additional list can include regulatory agency action, exclusion list, disciplinary action, enforcement action, and the law enforcement action. Then comes PEP screening. Virtually every bank need to determine whether the customer is or associated with PEP, as they present a higher risk for bribery and corruption by virtue of their position and influence. Some banks screen solely against limited set of PEP, so for example country and state leaders, while other widen the net to include PEPs such as judicial and military leaders. And another kind of customer screening normally performed is adverse media, screening customer for negative mentions in the public domain news data sources can identify individual who do feature on watch list or are defined as PIP. However, many organizations do not include adverse media in their screening program and choose to simply rely on PEP and sanction or watch list screening. So why to screen a customer? It is mandated by majority of AML and CTF laws, and bank and financial institution and other regulated entities are being penalized for not appropriately screening their customer or fail to screen them against sanction, watch list, PEP list, etc. So now let's understand what customer screening process. And before we understand, we should also understand who all will be screened. It can be customer, that can be entity or individual. It can be key individual or principals like CEO, CFO, ultimate beneficial owner who own more than 25% of shareholding or voting rights, intermediate parents, other associated parties. So now let's understand the whole customer screening process. Customer screening is normally done through two different methods. The first one is batch screening, where list of customer names are uploaded and they are screened automatically basis the periodicity the business determines. This is done primarily for existing customer. The engine outputs a result in relation to all customer for which there are potential screening matches. And in case of manual screening, this form of screening require user to manually input the name of the customer they wish to screen. And this is primarily done for new customers. The tool then outputs the result on a customer by customer basis. And in both the cases, we would get customer screening result, which would be reviewed and disposed according to the results. So let's understand manual screening in more detail. The first step in the process, manual process, is to enter the name of private individual or entity that need to be screened in the data field, in the name data field of the screening tool. You select appropriate search mode according to the screening tools, such as exact match or part match, etc. You can select different category of list, such as PEP, sanction, internal watch list, etc. to be screened against, depending on your bank processes and guideline. When the search is performed, the completed in the screening engine, the screening result will be any of the three. It can be false positive, it can be true positive, and it can be potential hit. So let's understand when there is a false positive, what need to be done. So if it's a false positive, as an analyst, you need to generate a PDF version of the screening result and add the first page of screening PDF report to the customer CDD pack as an evidence. And in case of if it's a true positive, that means a customer is a part of sanction list or PEP list, etc. It will need to be forwarded to the MLRO, compliance, FCC team, depending on the naming convention in your bank, requiring their advice on how to proceed. And also, at the same time, add the PDF report to the customer CDD pack as an evidence. And now, in case of a potential hit, in case of potential hit scenario, an analyst will compare customer detail or identifier like name, address, DOB, nationality, occupation, etc. With the alert to disambiguate and to resolve and understand whether it's a true match, whether it's a false positive, right? And in a scenario, if analyst has adequate information is available with him, there is substantial variation in any of the identifier where name is not matching, date of birth is not matching, then the alert can be closed as a false positive. And at the same time, analysts need to document the result in customer CDD pack as an evidence. And where analyst doesn't have adequate information which is not available, the customer screening alert is escalated to level 2 investigator or to compliance team or FCC team or for MLRO advice. So this is where L2 investigator will validate the escalated alert using additional tool and conclude the case as false positive or true positive. So this is all about customer screening process. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day. Bye.